Insecure. Tonight's episode of Insecure was arguably the best episode of the entire series. It's almost as if the entire series builds up or builds into tonight's episode. Insecure on HBO, I've said this many, many times. It's one of the most authentic depictions of an African American female in Issa's character that there is on television. As a matter of fact, it's the most accurate depiction. And with reintroducing Lawrence, which I was a little bit nervous with at first, but I like how it played out, and the dynamics of their friendship playing out on tonight's episode, I suggest that this was arguably the very best episode of Insecure. For those who do not know, I am the black guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. This is the Insecure Season 3, Episode 6, Reaction and Review. Tonight's episode was good. It was funny. It was dramatic. It had some compelling, thought-provoking elements to it as far as the relationship between characters. I mean, this was everything Insecure was all about. It was everything that's good about Insecure was demonstrated on tonight. What do you think about Nathan? I don't know yet. I don't know what to think about Nathan. I don't actually know what to think about Nathan yet because I don't know what's going on. Did he get locked up? I don't know, cause I don't know. I need some definitive explanation as far as what's going on with Nathan before I can draw a conclusion. I don't know why he hasn't contacted Issa. He's fishy. He is fishy. I will agree with that. He's a little fishy type of guy, and I've picked that up right away. One of the things, okay, and I'm gonna talk about this later, but one of the things I liked about tonight's episode, and I'm gonna get into more detail because I don't want to jump the gun here, but we get this Lawrence and Issa moment on tonight, and I've been begging for this moment since I first seen this show. One of my biggest criticisms about this show initially was Issa cheats on Lawrence very early. I think like in episode 2. It's because he has light eyes. That's why Nathan acted funny. I don't know. Lawrence cheats on Issa. I mean, Issa cheats on Lawrence in like episode 2. And my problem with that, or my criticism was, we never got to see Issa and Lawrence as like a couple. Like, why do they like each other? Why do they want to be with each other? Why are they connected? Like the chemistry between the two on the positive end. You follow me? So how do they really? Let me just simplify by saying we've only seen the bad side of Issa and Lawrence. We never really got to see the good side. We never got to see how those two people really complement one another. And those two characters really complement one another because we kind of start off the entire show with Issa kind of being fed up with the relationship and then her stepping out with Daniel. So there was a moment on tonight that I really enjoyed because we kind of got to see those two be around one another in a way that's showing the positives of their relationship or interaction with one another. What makes them love each other. Facts. Let's just get right into it. Let's not waste any time. So we pick up right where we left off last week. I love when episodes do this. I love when television shows pick up right where they left off. I love that shit because it shows the continuality. It shows that there's a story to be told, and there is a story to be told on this episode that was set up perfectly by last week's episode. So we find out Issa asks Nathan, excuse me, I call him Nathan. Lawrence, what he's been up to, and we find out that he's been sleeping with a bunch of clap having Jezebels. My man Lawrence has been out here fucking everything. He's been sleeping with clap having Jezebels left and right. Uh, my man then lost his lost his marriage over a couple of strippers, couple of blonde haired strippers. He done lost his relationship. And Lawrence has been fucking clap having Jezebels with no rubbers. And this is what he gets. And this is, I've always complained about, condoms not being used on Insecure. And I'm glad they introduced the dangers of not using condoms. I'm glad they introduced somebody actually catching a venereal disease. Because that shit can happen. That shit can fucking happen. So while everybody's fucking all loosey goosey and getting strippers, and there's negative consequences to being with these women. And I'm glad Insecure finally introduced that into the show. So Lawrence is fucking clap having Jezebels. And, this show is realistic. It's realistic as fuck. So we end up getting this here where we find out that Issa's, she's essentially starting her own business. She wants to become essentially a promoter of sorts. She wants to be a party planner of sorts, and that's what she's getting into. And we get this little sassy mouth woman here who's speaking all in Spanish. And we get one of the great lines on tonight where Issa goes, well, I don't know what you said, but God does. Which I love that line. Whoever wrote that shit, that was gold. That was fucking gold right there. That's when I knew we were off to a great start. So then we see Nathan's ass. I don't know how I feel about Nathan right now, but we see his ass. And, he's being all supportive and baby, you got this. And which I haven't been a fan of Nathan. I've told you guys I haven't been a fan of his. But he's all supportive and baby, you got this. And baby, you're going to make it. And whatever. Keep your head up, baby. I told you I never really liked Nathan's and Issa's chemistry. I told you guys this. This is an interesting thing here. And when we talk about realism, Molly's texting and Issa is texting back and she says, sorry driving, but driving is misspelled. Black Guru, what's up, fam? What's up, Tony? Driving is misspelled. So this is the type of realism and attention to detail that tonight's episode brought. Like I said, this has to be one of the best episodes of Insecure. I haven't seen this show. What's it about? It's essentially about Issa. A girl by the name of Issa. So they're laying in the bed and they're talking. Nathan and Issa are laying in the bed and they're talking. And Nathan goes, how do you know it's real? And when he said that, astute observation, yeah, it was misspelled. But that's how shit be. Every text ain't spelled perfectly. And I've seen a lot of shows start to do this now. I see this a lot on Power and a lot of other shows where they bring up text messages between characters and bring them on screen. So you can see kind of conversations through text on screen. A lot of TV shows are starting to bring that element in. That's the first time I've ever seen a word misspelled. That's the first time I've ever seen a typo. But that really happens. People really just put typos like that. So that's what I'm saying tonight. Whoever wrote tonight's episode, whoever directed it, the attention to detail was amazing on tonight. You gotta love it. You gotta love those sorts of things. So Nathan's in the bed with Issa again. He asks, is it real? Is it real? Is it real? And I kind of felt a little bit bad when he said that because I'm like, he kind of fallen in love and that's kind of weird. But Issa addressed this by saying, damn, I didn't know we could ask shit like that. We can say shit like that. Which was refreshing, right? Because sometimes you like a person and you you sleeping with them or you been dating them, and you tell them you like them and shit, and it's kind of like almost a bad thing to tell somebody you like them. So Issa says, I didn't know we could say shit like that. Which I found that to be refreshing from Issa's character, honestly. I really did. Like I said, I believe tonight's one of the best episodes of Insecure. So this nigga's always biting his lip. He's old lip biting ass nigga. You know. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already. Keep those hearts flying. Also visit shopguruhats.com for the latest Black Guru hats. Also follow the Black Guru on Instagram, the Black Guru on Instagram. Follow the Black Guru on YouTube. This review will be posted to YouTube. The Black Guru on YouTube. So we get Lawrence clap having ass. And he's calling all his previous sex partners on the phone with him. Oh yeah, you might want to get checked out for chlamydia. Because he didn't call the fucking clap. Dick's on fire when he pissed. Anyway. Interesting here. We get Molly. And we get Molly and the Asian guy. Now, how do y'all feel about Molly and the Asian guy? Do y'all think she should hook up with the Asian dude? Do you think... what's interesting here is that Issa had a quote in her book about black women hooking up with Asian men. And in this season, we get Molly potentially wanting to hook up with the Asian man on the show. So is this a thing? I'm asking you guys, is this something that Molly should do? Is this something that black women in general should consider? Dating Asian men? Is that a thing? As I sip my Dr. Pepper, or at least that's what I'm calling it. I don't know. But, the guy seems genuine. He wanted to kind of hook up with Molly. He's invited her out, and she kind of declined. She didn't really want to go out with the guy. So, one of the best scenes on tonight, they're sitting around and they're talking, and they're having a conversation. Molly's kind of complaining about her dating situation, while Issa's saying, hey, how about you try and go out with the Asian guy? And Molly does the old cliche, I'm only dating black men. I see myself with a black man, and that's how I want to be. So she makes that statement. I think she should explore. It's not working out for her currently, so why not? Yeah, why not? That's how I feel too. Why not? So she's kind of like, I see myself at the end of the day with a black man, so I don't want to do it, even though she's fucking another married man. And this is the type of contradictions that you find with that level of logic, that I only see myself with a black man, but at the same time, you fucking a married man who's in an open relationship. So obviously, everybody you end up fucking, or you end up dating rather, are not marriage partners that you're looking to see if this is going to blossom into a long-term thing. Because obviously Molly was fucking drove based on a circumstance that she understood what was going on, and she still accepted that. And we'll get into more Molly and Dro in a second. So my favorite line of the night, probably my favorite line of the whole series. Kelly's talking about making these cupcakes, these real light-skinned cupcakes. And she said there's little pieces of chocolate in the cupcakes just to remind the baby that you still a nigga. Man, I laugh so hard because that's something I would say. So that's literally something I would say. So I laugh so fucking hard. I've heard people suggest that Kelly should be considered for Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. I don't know if that's an official Emmy type of title, but if it is, she should be considered. I don't know who's a better supporting actor in a comedy series. I would have to see the other nominees, but she's right up there with any other nominee. And her what she brings to this show should not be ignored. It should not be ignored. So we get a conversation here with Chaz, kind of, guy talk at the bar. It was sort of guy talk. It wasn't real enough for me. But Lawrence is essentially suggesting that he's kind of going nowhere in life. He's kind of single. He's fucking all over the place, but it's going nowhere. Her parts in the show is amazing. Very amazing. She always adds to the show. She really added on tonight. We'll get there in a second. So they had some guy talk at the bar. It's off topic, but unfortunately, I keep missing your Better Call Saul scope, which is annoying. It's cool, Peculiar. Better Call Saul reviews will be tomorrow night. Now that Power is over, I'm kind of back on schedule. Now that my Sundays are free, now I can go the night the show airs. I can do the review, so we're kind of back on schedule now. So we had some guy talk at the bar here. Doesn't seem like Chaz is really dealing with his divorce properly. But one of the things about this guy talk at the bar shit with Nathan and Chaz and them is the show kind of misses this. I mean, this was kind of the nucleus of Insecure, and these characters right here are very important to the show because they're season 1 characters. They're kind of fan favorites. So these two kind of hashing out their issues as guys, this show needs that element in there for balance, and not having that, even though I was interested to see where the Daniel storyline goes, the Daniel and Issa storyline goes, I like to see Lawrence back with Chaz. That way we can kind of have that male element to the show that kind of balances out the show. So I'm glad that these guys were back. And I don't want to see them take time off again. I don't want to see, multiple episodes with these guys not in it. Now that they pull up with the cake, with this crooked ass, it wasn't a cake, it was like a diaper cake of some sort, but it was crooked as hell. It was haphazardly made. And if you really look at this thing, it's really crooked, very crooked. So they pull up, and the little gay brother's doing his whole shtick, roasting the diaper cake for being crooked. So now we get these bougie ass girls that Tiffany brought over to set up her baby shower. And these girls are all extra fucking bougie. They're right up Tiffany's alley, however. And these are her little friends and her little new crew that she's rolling with right now. And, she's all buddy-buddy with them. And Issa and Molly are like, ill. They're not really feeling that. They're not really happy about that. They're not really too happy about this. Like, where did these girls come from? Another epic element of tonight's episode is Tiffany's got all these baby pictures. She's recreating all of these celebrity baby pictures. So she recreates Beyonce. She recreates Cardi B's. She recreates Serena Williams. So she's recreating all of these baby paternity photos, if that's what they're called. And I love this. See, these sorts of attention to details, this is so 2018. I don't know how this ages. I don't know 15 years from now when we look back and watch this episode how we feel about all of this. But it's definitely encapsulating what's going on right now in pop culture and society. And it's absolutely brilliant. So we get this is Nathan not calling. So Issa's sort of reaching out to Nathan, but Nathan's not picking up. And then we get what I alluded to earlier. The moments I alluded to earlier with with Lawrence and Issa. And they're kind of just, having this great conversation with each other, kind of catching up. They're kind of reconnecting. Their comfort level is showing. And honestly, and maybe this was done on purpose, but honestly, you could see the chemistry difference between Lawrence and Issa and Nathan and Issa. You can see the chemistry difference when they talk to one another. You can see that they're more connected to one another. You know, it didn't seem like the hurt of their failed relationship got in the way of them two just enjoying one another and experiencing one another in this scene. And I really appreciated this because this is what I've been begging for from this show. I said, why do these two even want to be together? When are they ever happy? They're always arguing and bickering, and we start off this shit by her cheating on him. So when are they ever just going to be like cool? What are they fighting to try to preserve? We never really got to see them really be cool with one another. And we finally got to see that on tonight. Your voice sounds a little bit like Samuel Jackson. You ever hear that? No, I never heard that before. I never heard that before. I don't know if I sound like Samuel Jackson actually, but so yeah, this was great. You know, they're chalking it up, they're laughing, you know, they're having a good time, and like I said, I've been begging for this. I've criticized this show to no end because we never really got this early, but I'm glad we got it on tonight. Now this is some controversy. This is some controversy. Molly is watching Lawrence and Issa have this funny, laughing conversation, and she's feeling all soft. Anyways, you have good analysis, bro. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So they're having this conversation. They're laughing it up, and Molly's kind of getting a little bit, you know, she's kind of feeling soft inside. So she wants to go holler at Dro. And she's like, you know, hey, how you doing? And Dro's all like, oh, so we talking now? You know, boundaries and all. And she's like, oh, well, thanks for reminding me this was a mistake. And I looked on Twitter, and a lot of people were kind of leaning towards Molly, saying Dro ain't shit. I was kind of on Dro's side. And I've always been on Dro's side, honestly. I've honestly always been on Dro's side, and I'm on Dro's side tonight. Because it was all cool. Dro was like a cool dude for Molly. You know, Dro had his situation, but Molly accepted that. So what is she complaining about? We need boundaries, and we can't be making no pancakes, and we can just fuck and all of this stupid shit. I always took issue with that. I'm like, Molly, what is your problem? What is your fucking problem? So now you want to come up out of nowhere because you feeling a certain type of way, talking about, hey, and Dro's supposed to be all extra cool with you like that? He already married. And what the fuck? So I was kind of on, like I said, I was on Dro's side with that. You know, I probably would have said something similar. So here we go. Man, this insecure review night, dang. Yeah. So now we get into the brass tacks of this episode. Now we get right down to the brass tacks. My girl Kelly brings over them cupcakes that she said. And then your girl pulls up and says, oh, you know, we got backup cupcakes. Wow. Now, Kelly ain't trying to hear all that shit. See, Kelly not here for all that bougie shit. You see, that's why I say Kelly's got to get an Emmy somewhere along the line. Kelly's not here for none of this bougie bullshit, okay? So, you know, Kelly's like, all right, I'm out. So she walks out, and they have a conversation outside. And the reason why I love this part of the episode is because it was actually set up last week. It was set up at the end of last week's episode when Issa was talking to Tiffany in the car, and Tiffany kind of was like, yeah, you know, I hope we'll be friends, and saying things like that. And they set up this conversation between all four of them last week. So that animosity, that tension, that uncertainty that Tiffany displayed on last week was fleshed out on this episode here. I absolutely love it. So we have a great conversation, and they're like, why you didn't, you know, Issa and Molly are like, why you didn't, you know, have us do the baby shower? Tiffany's like, y'all didn't even offer to do it. So Kelly was like, yeah, that explains Molly and Issa, but what about me and you, Tiffany? Like this is some bullshit. You got these what they call them, the crazy crew or some shit like that. The nickname Tiffany gave the other women who were helping her out, her other friends who were helping her out with the baby shower. And then Tiffany says some cold blooded shit. She says, "Well, I picked I can't remember the other girl's name." She says, "Yeah, I picked her because well, she's a mother." And Kelly's like, "What? Since I don't have any kids, I can't help with your baby shower?" Oh man, man, man. Hell nah, what you want, Guru? I'm just reviewing one of the best shows on TV. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. This is one of the best black television shows on TV, so you can kind of put two and two together there. Um, and that hit Kelly. And I didn't really like Tiffany saying that to Kelly. I thought that was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was pretty fucked up. Talking about since the other girl is a mom, then she, I guess, is more qualified to help with a baby shower. So I don't really like Tiffany doing Kelly like that. That was some cold blooded shit. And there's another moment here where Kelly says, "I'm about to leave." Sounds like my life. Oh, GG. She goes, "I'm about to leave." And then she says, "Tiffany won't even know that I'm gone." And Kelly left, and literally Tiffany didn't even know that she was gone. Tiffany didn't even know that she was gone. I don't like Tiffany. Yeah, that was some fucked up shit from Tiffany, honestly. That was some cold blooded shit to one of the most fan favorite characters right there. So Tiffany's basically a bad guy to me at this point. Because that was some fucked up shit that she shouldn't have did her homegirl like that. Maybe you went with somebody else with the baby shower or whatever. But you didn't have to, because you ain't no mama. You ain't qualified to do this. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, and it's unfortunate. Does this show have news scenes? Oh, yes, it does. Yes. Um. Now Molly's all in her fucking feelings because she ain't got no fucking man. But that's on Molly though. It's Molly's fault she ain't got no man. So I'm not really concerned about Molly's little "I don't got no man" drama because she's creating a "I don't have a man" issue. There's really no reason for a successful lawyer in LA to not have a man. It's all her complex fucking desire outlook on life that's causing her not to have a fucking man. So I really could care less, honestly. Like I said, I alluded to this moment earlier. I gotta say this now. This is some game. I gotta get into some real shit. I gotta get into some real shit for a second because this is some real shit. Issa says that she's over Lawrence. She says, "Well, I'm finally over him." She felt as if she's finally over him, which that's cool. But she says she still loves him. She always will based on the time that they had together. Now, during their conversation with one another, she looks at him and she says, "It seems like you really got your life together, like you really got it together," which was a sign of respect. Now, let me tell you something. It's not a lot of fellas here. I know it's not. But for the few fellas who are here, I got to speak to the few fellas who are here. Anytime a woman both loves and respects you, you always got action at that woman. I'm going to tell you that now. You always got action at a woman who both loves and respects you. Because a lot of the times you can get one and not the other. Okay? And one and not the other is still good. But if you can get both love and respect from a woman, which Issa showed both, she said that she always loved him, and she said in no uncertain terms that she respected him on tonight. Lawrence has action at Issa. Even though Lawrence is a clap having nigga, he's got action. No woman has either for me. Yeah, and you need to work on that. You need to work on that. So he said he wouldn't get back with her because he ain't He can't. He can't see her as nothing but a cheater. Well, that's his perspective. But I'm saying from Issa's perspective, you know, if a woman both loves and respects you, you got action at her. Bottom line. I'm just letting y'all know. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. So let's just get down to brass tacks here. Nah, I'm hard on hoes. You're not hard enough, P. So we get Dro's wife. I believe this is Dro's wife, correct? Rolling up. Dro's wife is rolling up, and she's rocking that ring. Yo, second time checking, and I'm rocking with the strings. Appreciate it, Dre Day. Keep it pimping, dog. Keep it pimping. So, you know, she's rocking the ring on their ass. I believe this is Dro's wife, and she's got that ring all up in Molly's face. She's got that ring all up in Molly's face, and Molly just can't stand it. That ring is like, you know, kryptonite to Superman. She just can't, it's just making her weak inside. She can't stand it. She can't stand it. So, you know, here Lawrence smirking. You know, he's smirking because he had a nice little good conversation with Issa. So he's feeling good inside. He's feeling soft inside. You know, and that's on him. I alluded to this conversation earlier. The conversation in which Tiffany admits that, you know, or basically suggests that she didn't notice Kelli was gone. Kelli had been gone for like 30 minutes and she barely even knew. So, you know, I hate to see that shit. I hate to see that these friends go in these different directions like that. But I'm very, very proud of Insecure for giving us the dynamics of these four women, because I think a lot of the strength of this episode not only rests in Issa's charisma, but also in this kind of girlfriends-esque, you know, relationships between let me say it this way. Not only in the relationships that Issa and Molly have with men, but the relationships that these women have with each other are equally important. And I like that they deliver both on the relationships that the women have with the men in their lives, but also, and I think more importantly, the relationship that they have with one another. The reason I believe that it's more important is because it kind of eliminates some dating cliches and some of the cliches of male-female relationships when the women actually have to deal with the relationships with each other. So then, you know, Issa gets an interesting phone call from Lyft, which I don't know if Lyft is sponsoring this season. This has been the greatest commercial of Lyft I've ever seen. These relationships all come full circle to me. I believe so too. And I don't know if Lyft is sponsoring this season or not, but this has been the greatest Lyft ad. They couldn't run a better commercial than their role in Insecure this season. And we got a phone call from Lyft suggesting that the investigation is over and they spoken with Nathan. And she's like, I spoke with Nathan today. And she's like, oh yeah. And she was like, damn, I tried to call him and he ain't called me. So now we're trying to figure out what's going on with Nathan. Did he disappear? Has he completely vanished? What's going on with this guy? And that's essentially how we end the episode. Like I said, great episode on tonight. Absolutely loved it. I loved every minute of it. I think this could be arguably the greatest episode of Insecure. There's a lot of nuance here. There's some things that I've been asking from this series the entire time that were delivered on tonight. I really enjoyed this. And I was ready to go into a different direction when they reintroduced Lawrence, because I thought it was going to kind of be cliche. I thought we were going to beat a dead horse. But I think Lawrence coming back and spending the entire episode kind of re-solidified what makes Insecure great. He told Issa he tend to come on too strong. I thought he came on too strong when he said that too. When he told Issa, how do you know it's real? He living his best life like Little Duval. Yeah, and y'all go get the Living My Best Life's hats at blackguru.com. Y'all go check out them Living My Best Life hats. at blackguru.com. Oh, not blackguru.com. Shopguruhats.com. Y'all go pick them up. You need to do a review on Ballers. I don't know. Ballers. So yeah, top stuff. Absolutely loved it. Loved every minute of it. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. And I'll catch everybody on the flip side. One love.